cartels are the biggest suppliers of illegal drugs into the United States. They move heroin and cocaine, methamphetamine or crystal meth, and now fentanyl.
Our country is being poisoned from within by the drugs and by all of the other crime that's taking place. The drug cartels are waging war in America, and it's now time for America to wage war on the cartels.
Picture this. You're an infamous drug lord looking to strike fear into your rivals and rake in billions in illicit profits. Where do you turn to learn the tricks of the trade? Look no further than my top 10 list of the world's deadliest cartels. These brutal criminal organizations have trafficking narcotics down to a science, but which one will nab the top spot? Stay tuned to count them down, and stick around until the end for a surprise bonus you won't want to miss. Let's get this party started. Kicking off the list at number 10 is Oficina de Envigado, the Colombian cartel that used to be Pablo Escobar's muscle. Formed in the 90s as the armed wing of Escobar's Medellin cartel, they later partnered with Colombian paramilitary group AUC. After his death, they rebranded as independent drug traffickers. But a string of arrests has them operating more like a mafia conglomerate these days, mostly providing hitmen and logistics services to other cartels in Colombia. I guess there's no honor among thieves, huh? First you're the king's right-hand man, next you're scrambling to survive. Heavy is the head that wears the cartel crown. Jalisco New Generation Cartel. A relative newcomer formed in 2009, the Jalisco New Generation Cartel has quickly gained a rep as Mexico's most violent gang. Based in Jalisco State, these heavily armed, semi-militarized thugs don't mess around. They deal drugs, steal oil, and frequently clash with authorities and rivals. Infamously, they even shot down a military helicopter with an RPG in 2015. Led by Nemesio El Mencho Oseguera, Mexico's most wanted man with a $10 million US bounty on his head, CJNG is infamous for its extreme brutality. What is it with cartels naming themselves after their home states? First it was Medellin, then Sinaloa, now Jalisco. I'm sensing a theme here. Comando Vermelho. The Red Command runs Rio de Janeiro and reaches into Bolivia, Peru, and Colombia. These Brazilian bad boys do it all. Drugs, guns, theft, kidnapping, you name it. One of Brazil's oldest gangs, CV, started in a Rio prison in the 1970s. They're primarily active in Rio's slums but operate across Brazil and nearby countries. Trafficking drugs and arms, committing robberies, running protection rackets, and loan sharking, CV has violently battled police and the army, even notoriously shooting down a police helicopter in 2016. Their origins were depicted in the gritty Brazilian crime film City of God. How do you say "don't mess with us" in Portuguese? Oh, right, you shoot down a police helicopter. Message received. Comando Vermelho. Cartel of the Suns. Moving on to Venezuela, we've got the Cartel of the Suns, named after the sun insignias worn by Venezuelan military generals. This is what happens when the foxes guard the henhouse. The military brass become the drug kingpins. Allegedly headed by President Nicolas Maduro himself and the Venezuelan military elite. The drug trade exploded under Hugo Chavez's rule in the 1990s due to rampant corruption in the armed forces. Now they're trafficking tons of Colombian cocaine through Venezuela and the Caribbean to the US and Europe. Maduro's second-in-command, Diosdado Cabello, is also suspected of being a key player. The president is in on it. The generals are running the show. No wonder Venezuela is in shambles. When crime is the law, there is no law. Primeiro Comando de Capital. The biggest, baddest gang in Brazil, the PCC is part drug cartel, part prison mafia, all trouble. Headquartered in Sao Paulo, they've got their fingers in all the illicit pies. With over 30,000 members, the PCC is Brazil's largest criminal organization, engaged in drug and weapons trafficking, robberies, extortion, and murder for hire. In 2017, they even pulled off Paraguay's biggest heist, stealing $8 million from an armored car company. The PCC is also closely allied with Italy's powerful 'Ndrangheta mafia. Oh, and get this, they're led by a guy called Marcola, who's currently serving over 200 years in maximum security prison. But that doesn't stop him from giving the orders. I knew the Brazilian justice system was messed up, but damn, Tijuana Cartel. The Tijuana Cartel used to be top dog in Mexico until its leaders started dropping like flies. Founded by the Arellano Felix clan, 7 brothers and 4 sisters, they rose to power in 1989 after the Guadalajara cartel split. Most of the brothers are either dead or in prison now, with sister Enadina believed to be running the show. The cartel has been weakened by all the arrests and deaths, but they still have a strong presence in Baja California and the southwest US, bolstered by alliances with the Medellin Cartel in Colombia and the Sicilian Mafia in Italy. Tijuana Cartel, proof that the family that slays together stays together, until they all get locked up, that is. At number 4 we have the Juarez Cartel. Don't let the posh name fool you, these guys are as vicious as they come. Murder, torture, terror, all their favorite pastimes. And business is booming up in Chihuahua. Founded by the Carrillo Fuentes clan in the 80s, now led by Juan Pablo Ledesma, the Juarez Cartel is notorious for brutal tactics like public killings, corpse mutilation, and decapitation to sow fear. With a stronghold in Ciudad Juarez and Chihuahua State bordering Texas and New Mexico, they're major players in the Mexico-US drug trade, moving tons of coke, meth, and heroin. The cartel has been weakened since the 90s, but alliances with Sinaloa keep them in the game. Remind me never to take a vacation in Juarez, unless my idea of R&R is ending up mutilated in a ditch somewhere, which is a hard pass for me, thanks. Coming in at number 3 are Los Zetas, a bunch of ex-Mexican military goons who are now public enemy number 1. If you thought cartels were scary, wait till you see what these guys cooked up in murder school. Made up of elite army deserters, Los Zetas started out as hired guns for the Gulf Cartel before going independent in 2010. Now they're among Mexico's most powerful syndicates, controlling key drug smuggling routes into the US throughout eastern Mexico. Los Zetas are known for their unmatched savagery, with massacres, mass graves, beheadings, and torture as their calling cards. Heavily armed with military-grade weaponry, they often engages in wild shootouts with the army and rival cartels. I'm not sure if I'm more horrified by the over-the-top violence or the fact that there's apparently a murder school somewhere out there. Note to self, do not Google Los Zetas training videos. I'd like to sleep tonight. Gulf Cartel. Just missing out on the top spot is the Gulf Cartel, the Mexican mafia that launched 1,000 narco ships. These guys are the Coca-Cola of Coke, an iconic brand with global reach. But fame has its price. Founded way back in the 30s by Juan Guerra, the Gulf Cartel's original focus was bootlegging hooch. But under Juan Garcia Abrego, they shifted to drugs and pioneered transportation routes that now span the globe from West Africa to Southeast Asia to Europe. For a while, the Gulf Cartel even had their own army in Los Zetas, but that went south when Los Zetas split to form a rival cartel in 2010. Since then, the Gulf Cartel has been weakened by the war with their ex-goons and their leaders' arrests. But they're still among the biggest fish in the Mexican drug trade. I guess it's true what they say. Imitation is the sincerest form of flattery. Wonder how the Gulf Cartel felt when their own henchmen stole their model and became their worst nightmare. Sinaloa Cartel. And finally, the moment you've all been waiting for, the King of Kings, the Sinaloa Cartel. These are the baddest muchachos in all of Mexico, maybe even the world. When it comes to the drug game, everybody else is playing for second place. Named after their home state of Sinaloa, this is Mexico's oldest and most powerful crime syndicate. Over the years, they've built a cocaine, heroin, meth, marijuana, and fentanyl empire worth over $3 billion, using every trick in the book from tunnels to catapults to submarines. The legendary Joaquin El Chapo Guzman may have been arrested in 2016, but the Sinaloa Federation of Factions is still going strong under the leadership of Ismael El Mayo Zambada. With a $15 million bounty on his head from the US, you'd think El Mayo would be keeping a low profile. But I guess it's hard to hide when your cartel supplies half the cocaine on the damn planet. All hail the king. Well, there you have it, folks. The 10 deadliest cartels in the world. A real murderer's row of drug trafficking titans. I want to hear from you, though. Which cartel do you think is most likely to snag the top spot next year? Let me know your pick in the comments. Oh, but before you click away, I've got one more bonus cartel for you. The Medellin Cartel. What? You thought I'd make a most dangerous gangs list and not include Pablo Escobar? Not bloody likely. Alright, that's all I got for you today. If you dug this countdown, do me a solid and smash that like button. And be sure to check out my other videos ranking the richest kingpins, the craziest prison escapes, the bloodiest cartel wars, and all sorts of other wild stuff. Hit that subscribe button too so you never miss a list. Stay safe out there, amigos, and remember, crime doesn't pay. Peace out.